Once, there was a town divided by a wide river. On one side, people lived. On the other side, they worked. Between them stood an old wooden bridge that shook whenever the wind blew hard. Most days, people were not afraid. The wind was soft, and the boards only made a small creaking sound. But in the cold season, the river wind grew wild. It whistled around the ropes, slapped the water, and pushed against anyone who tried to cross. "There is no need to risk it," the townspeople said. "When the wind is strong, we stay home." So on stormy days, the market stayed empty, the workshop fires went out, and boats sat silent by the shore. In that town lived a girl named Lena. She was not very tall, and she was not very strong, but she had quick eyes and a heart that noticed small things. Her father worked on the other side of the river, fixing tools and broken machines. On calm days, he crossed the bridge at sunrise and came home at sunset with tired hands and a soft smile. On stormy days, he stayed home and stared at the floor. "We will earn nothing today," he would say quietly. "We must wait for better weather." One morning, dark clouds covered the sky. The wind was already loud, shaking windows and rattling doors. Lena's father picked up his work bag twice and put it down twice. Finally, he sighed and sat by the fire. Lena watched the thin curtains move with each heavy gust. Her heart felt tight. "If we always wait for calm days," she thought, "what will become of us?" She walked to the small shelf near the door and took her father's work bag. "Papa," she said, "let me take this to Master Jareen's workshop across the river." Her father's eyes widened. "No?" he said at once. "The wind is too strong. You will fall. The bridge will throw you into the river." Lena's hands trembled, but she did not put the bag down. "Papa," she said softly, "every year the wind comes, and every year we step back. The bridge has carried people for many years. Maybe it is not the bridge that is too weak. Maybe it is us." He looked at his daughter. He saw fear in her eyes, but also something else, a steady light. He walked to the chest by the wall, took out a thick rope, and tied one end around her waist. He fastened the other end to the heavy table leg. "If you slip," he said, "this will remind you that you are not alone." Then he opened the door. The wind rushed in like a wild animal. It pushed Lena back a step, her eyes filled with tears from the cold. For a moment, she wanted to run to her bed and pulled the blanket over her head. Instead, she took one small step out, then another. The world outside roared. When she reached the start of the bridge, she stopped. The wooden board shook under her feet. The ropes hummed like deep voices. The river below was dark and full of white foam. Lena placed her hand on the side rope. The first strong gust pushed her sideways, and her foot slipped. Her heart jumped, but the rope around her waist pulled gently, and she found her balance again. "The wind is not trying to kill me," she thought. "It is showing me how to stand." She began to walk, very slowly. When the wind came from the front, she leaned into it. When it hit from the side, she bent her knees and held the rope tighter. When a rare gust pushed from behind, she let it help her move a little faster. Halfway across, the storm was at its worst. Her hair whipped around her face. Her fingers ached from holding on. She wanted to turn back. She looked toward the town she had left. Through the moving curtains of rain, she could just see her house, small and shaken. She imagined her father sitting alone, worrying. Then she looked across the river. She imagined the workshop fire slowly dying because no one came. She imagined the tools that would stay broken, the work that would never start. "I did not come this far to stop in the middle," she whispered. Her voice was small, but it was louder than the voice that told her to give up. Step by step, she moved forward. Sometimes she slipped to her hands. Sometimes she dropped to her knees. Each time she stood again, the wind felt a little less like an enemy and a little more like a teacher. At last, her foot touched solid ground on the other side. She stood there, breathing hard. The wind still howled, but inside, she felt calm. She walked to Master Jareen's workshop and handed him her father's bag. His eyes widened when he saw the rope around her waist and the storm outside. "You crossed the bridge today?" he asked. "Yes," Lena answered, still catching her breath. The bridge was the same as always. The wind was the same. I was the one who changed. For a moment, The old man said nothing. Then Ismail, "Come," he said. "Help me light the fires. If you can cross that bridge in a storm, you can learn to fix anything." News of what Lena had done spread quickly through the town. People gathered at their windows and doors, looking at the shaking bridge with new eyes. The next stormy day, one merchant tied a rope around his own waist and crossed. A week later, 2 teachers did the same. In time, the townspeople worked together to make the bridge stronger. They added new ropes and thicker boards, and they asked Lena to show them how she walked in the storm. How she bent, how she breathed, how she listened to the wind instead of only fearing it. Years pass. Children grew up hearing the story of the girl who crossed the bridge when everyone else stayed home. Whenever the wind began to rise, parents would say, "Remember, Lena, the storm does not come to stop you. It comes to show you who you can become." My friend, we all have our own bridges in the storm. Difficult jobs, painful memories, hard conversations, big dreams that scare us. If we always wait for perfect weather, our lives remain small and cold. When we take one step into the wind, we begin to grow. The river of life does not shrink. The storms do not disappear, but with each honest step, you become steadier, braver, and more alive than before. The bridge is still the same. The storm is still the same. The one who changes is you.